The directory government was established in France after the reign of terror, period of great fear and suffering. So we are saying the directory government was established by the National Convention at the end of 1794, but it started its works in early 1795. The directory was composed of 5 directors. I can tell you, among them, we had big names like Barras. So we are saying, of course, it had what you call legislature of 2 houses, the Council of Elders, 250 members, and the Council of 500 members. Among the aims of the directory government, it was expected to end the reign of terror, period of great fear and suffering. If you are not killed in the morning, you have to be killed in the evening. To restore peace and order, peace had to be what? Restored. It is said to reorganize the economy. Let me tell you, people expected after the collapse of King Louis the 16th, that the economy was going to be okay. But by this time, the economy had issues. That's why they came up with the directory government. Now the hard question is, did the directory government achieve? That is our issue. So we are saying the directory government completely ended the reign of terror. So you need to know the achievements of the directory government. Where we are saying today, it ended the reign of terror. Reign of terror 1792 to 1794. The directory government ended the reign of terror. Stubborn men that took power, Danton and Robespierre, were killing people. But it was the directory government that ended the reign of terror. Praise be to thinkers like Barras, Abessiers, among others. We are saying it tried to check dictatorship in France. You remember, those that rose up against King Louis XVI were meant to end the dictatorship, but also they became what? Dictators. So it was the directory government that it tried to check on dictatorship by giving freedom to the people. That's why people's voices were honored. They were supposed to choose leaders to represent them in the legislature. Another one, it suppressed the attempt by the Society of Equals under Francois. We are saying today, the Society of Equals under Francois wanted to overthrow the directory government. But of course, we are saying today, the directory government suppressed the Society of what? Equals. These ones wanted to overthrow the directory what? Government. But of course, it was suppressed by the directory government. Then it suppressed the royalists and Jacobin conspiracy of October 1795. We are saying the royalists, those that were supporting France be led by a king, wanted to overthrow the directory government. But the directory government suppressed the royalist uprising. These ones wanted to overthrow the government, but they were suppressed by the directory what? Government. So we are saying it achieved it. Then it established the rule of law and ended the mob rule in France. You remember at one time there was what you call the Paris what? Mob. Very stubborn youth were killing anybody who was not supporting the government. But we are saying the directory government established the rule of law. People are supposed to be ruled depending and using the what? The constitution. So we are saying the directory government achieved it. It set up a strong army under the direction of Director Canot. We are saying by this time, the army was created because France had so many enemies, like a country called what? Austria. The army was created to protect a country called what? France. I'm still emphasizing our Kasoma Farouk of Uganda idea where we say no one is coming. No one is what? Coming. The government is busy, your family is busy, even your friends are what? Busy. So it's upon you to liberate yourself. So the message is about A's and B's. A's and what? A's and B's is supposed to be the lead game. Another one, it extended the revolutionary doctrines of liberty, equality, and fraternity. We are saying today the revolutionary doctrines of liberty, equality, and fraternity were extended. Were what? Extended how? By conquering areas in where? In the Italian what? State Sea. You remember when Napoleon was sent by the director government to go and liberate Italy from Austria, thus extending the frontiers of a country called the France. Another one, it disintegrated the allies of the first coalition. The allies of the first coalition, where Austria and others wanted to rise up and defeat the directorial government. But of course, the directorial government managed to defeat the first coalition. Countries allied together to fight against the revolutionary France. Because for them, they wanted France to be led by who? By a king altogether. That's why they launched war against a country called what? France. But of course, the directorial government had to defeat those people. Another one, we are saying, it promoted tourism by developing the museum at Louvre. We are saying by this time, tourism was promoted by the directorial government. Changes rising up. By this time, many tourists from other countries came and started visiting a country called what? France. Then it restored the constitutional rule after the period of anarchy. After the period of reign of terror, constitutional rule had to rise up in a country called what? France. So we are praising the directorial government. Then it developed the French Navy. French Navy. This was militarism on water. So we are realizing great militarism had to be built, where France also became great on what? On water. Mind you, at one time, Britain was so great, but also France started developing its what? Navy, militarism on water. Then it introduced and implemented economic reforms. You remember, Danton and Robespierre, some of the key people who had the power after the collapse of King Louis XVI, failed to solve the economic problems of the time. But the directorial government tried to make what we call economic what? Reforms, where at this time there was destabilization in issues concerning about the economy. Changes rising up. It initiated public works, transport and what? Communication, where people had to move from one area to another easily. We are praising the directors of the directorate government, Barras, among others. It tried to reconcile various political groups. We are saying today, those political groups that were challenging the government were called upon, they were told, you come and join the country called what? France. Mind you, some of them had gone to where? To Austria, but they were called back to come back and where? In France. My friend, reconciliation is very important in politics. It defeated Austria. I can tell you, Austria was controlling the Italian state, some of the Italian what? States. But Napoleon was sent by the directorial government to go and liberate Italy from Austria. You remember when Napoleon was given soldiers full of problems, but he managed to convince them. He told soldiers, I'm going to take you to and you are going to get great glory and honor. How together? The hopeless soldiers became what? hopeful. When Napoleon reached in Italy, the Italians shunned him. They said, you look at this Napoleon. Napoleon managed to convince the Italians. He told them, you people of Italy, we have come to break the chains of oppression. Welcome us today. You are going to be happy. And by this time, Napoleon managed to liberate the Italian one, states. And by this time, they were put under France altogether. So that's defeating